Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to talk to you about how I created a six-figure income using law of attraction. And I'm not just going to talk to you about it, I'm going to give you the step-by-step so that you can take this and apply it to your own life. If you're excited, give me a like and subscribe. My name's Rebecca Hamilton. I'm a law of attraction expert, a coach, and a podcast host. I'm also the founder of She's Unoffendable Media Corp. You can also go check out my website at www.she'sunoffendable.com. All right, let's get into the good stuff. Okay, guys, I want to tell you exactly how to create something from nothing. And I see a lot of people out here talking about law of attraction, and I get it. There's a lot of people who want to spread the word of how we really are so powerful. So I love it. And yet I think some things are like missing. The people that come to me and the people that I coach, a lot of times they're like, hey, listen, I'm saying the words, I'm trying to connect to these visions, I'm doing the thing, but it's not coming together for me. I'm not manifesting. I'm manifesting parking spots, but I'm not actually manifesting the things that I want. So let's start from the step before step one. So this is going to be step zero. Step zero is if you don't have step zero, you cannot go to the next step until you have the step done that I'm talking about. So for step zero, you got to be working out of abundance, y'all. You cannot be complaining about where you are, hate your job, hate your life, think you don't have enough money all the time, be lamenting that all the time, and think that you're going to miraculously create a six-figure income. It doesn't happen. And I want to tell you that the more that you don't embrace where you are, the harder it's going to be for you to create. So if you're at step zero and you hate your job, and y'all have been there, when my son was little, my husband went to prison when he was 1, and I made exactly $24,000 that year. I didn't make anything. I don't have a college degree. I dropped out of high school. I did go get a GED, but it's not like I had a whole bunch of experience or a whole bunch of resources. I don't come from a family that has a lot of money. I definitely didn't have a trust fund or anything like that. This was just me creating. I made a lot of choices that put me in a position where I had to create for myself. And so I did. And sometimes those are the best places to create from. But anyway, so I didn't have anything, and I was in that place of like, what am I going to do? So where I found the difference and when things started to move was when I stopped focusing on the lack side of it, when I stopped coming from scarcity, when I stopped looking at my job as a burden, looking at the fact that I wasn't making a lot of money out of a victim mentality. I started being appreciative. The fact that I had a job, there are a lot of people who couldn't get a job. So finding appreciation for where you are is that's like number one. So if you're not doing that right now, what I want you to do is go and get a notebook every single day for the next 30 days. Just do this. This isn't hard. Okay. And you're going to start, and then you're probably going to go I don't want to do this, because you're switching up your energy. Anytime you switch up your energy, your comfortable energy, where you are energy, is always stronger. So it will try to bring you back. So you've got to make yourself do this. So for the next 30 days, I want you to write out 10 things that you're grateful for in terms of money in your job. Not just in general, not just you love your family, you love your friends, whatever. I want you to get very specific as to why you are grateful. I am grateful for my job because it allows me to put food on my table. I love the fact that I get to work with people that I actually like, or whatever it is, and so if you say, well, I love to be able to work with people I actually like because it makes my days go by faster. Maybe you're in a job where you're in a service situation. I love being able to help people. I love my job because I get to help people. So always have that because in there, okay? So the because and the why are pretty important when it comes to appreciation. At least I've always seen that shift, and it helps you to kind of energetically hold on to that. So once you're there, once you've got that down, now it's time to start creating the six-figure income that you want doing what you love. So the first thing is you need a vision. What does that look like? Are you just saying, man, I want to be rich? I see these people being rich. I want to be rich too. You can't just be running around saying, oh, I want to be rich, and think that that vision is going to create any momentum. Because here's the thing. where you are, like if you think you're not creating, you are. This really, really woke me up early on. I was listening to Abraham Hicks, and this was probably, I don't even know, maybe 20 years ago. And I was listening to a CB of theirs, and they said, you are not stuck because you are creating. You're just creating the same thing every day. And that was like, holy cow, what the hell? Why would I create this every day? If I have an opportunity to create something different, I got to take that opportunity. So that really woke me up to think like, we're not stuck, y'all. We're just creating the same thing every day. Why is that? Because we haven't created a vision around something different. Because why? It's easier not to. It's easier to fall into default. It's easier to do what we've always done. That's why there's that saying in like Alcoholics Anonymous, if you do what you always did, you get what you always got. If you think what you've always thought, you're going to get what you always got too. Like you have to change up the vision. Vision is number one. Clarity of vision is like money right there. And once you get that vision, once you've been able to hold it, you got to congratulate yourself. Do you know why? Because it only takes 17 seconds to create an outcome that you want. It takes 17 seconds of focused energy before the universe has it. It's been transmitted, and the universe is now working to, conspiring to put that together. So get clear. And when I say clear, I mean, you want to know, what is it that you want? What do you want to be doing? What do you want to, and listen, y'all, this is not the only way to create. This is how I created my first 6-figure year. And so to me, this is a pretty easy way, because when you start getting into the other ways, they're a little more broad. They're just a little different. So I will talk about those in other videos, but for the purpose of this video, this is how to create it doing something you love. First, you've got to create the vision. So I'm going to parallel this with my story in terms of this. So I was just, I had been raising my son. I homeschooled him, and I was a real estate agent. I've been a real estate agent for the last 17 years. So I was homeschooling my son and using real estate as my only source of income. So I was working commission only, and we were supporting ourselves, and we were able to do the things. I was able to homeschool him. I was able to go up to the football games, be an all-in mom, because for me, that was important. For me, I wanted the income for our lives to sustain and, have what we wanted, have nice things or whatever. But also I wanted the time. So I wanted to spend as much time with him as I could. And I got that. I created that. But then when he was getting ready to go off to college, I was like, you know what? This is like his senior year. I thought, I want to kick this up a notch. Like I want to take real estate to the next level, because I had been a realtor the entire time and homeschooling, except for the first 6 months. So when I first decided that I was going to get into real estate, everybody said, Rebecca, you're crazy. Well, I got into real estate. I wrote my first million. Took me about 5 or 6 months. And then I thought, you know what? I'm going to homeschool. We can do this. And we decided as a family to do it. So I had been homeschooling him and having a different focus. Even though real estate was there, I wasn't really building it. I wasn't implementing systems. I just wasn't doing the things like as an entrepreneur, because real estate agents really are just entrepreneurs. Nobody's doing anything for us. For real estate agents, you have to go out and create the market and do all the things yourself. So when he was getting ready to go off to college, I thought, you know what, this is my chance. I am going to kick it up a notch. And that's exactly what I did. So this first piece was me deciding what I wanted to do. For me, I decided that I wanted to be a top producing real estate agent. And so that was the vision that I held. So that's number one. Number two, you've got to decide that no matter what, you are going to get what it is that you're talking about. You're going to be who it is that you're talking about. You've got to have like this no matter what attitude. I'm going to get the thing that I want. Now, I know this is a little contrary when you hear law of attraction and you're like, what do you mean no matter what? You're supposed to allow and receive it. And I get that, but let's not forget that there is action involved in manifesting. Like there is action involved, generally speaking, because you're going to be inspired to action. And you've got to be willing. See, the thing is, you don't have to do everything it takes to get there. You've got to be willing to do everything it takes to get there. Do you see the distinction? Because when you're willing, the universe goes, oh snap, she's ready. she's going to do this. She's serious. She ain't playing. And so once you have tripped that vibe, then it's all over. Like now we're on to the next step. So the next step is we want to find the emotion. So when you've done your, and I guess this could be step 2, maybe step 3, whatever, they're kind of simultaneous to me, because once you create the vision, you've got to start evoking the emotion. You've got to start, creating the energy of it. Because see, your regular life right now, like your life that is not 6 figures, has a certain amount of energetic pull. And it is keeping you where you are, right? Because you're focusing on what you're doing. You're automatically focusing in some cases, especially if you're like over 30, according to Joe Dispenza, in some cases, you're actually in auto drive. Like you are creating things that you're not even, it's like your body and the chemicals in your body are more in control than your brain is. So it's really important that you take back your focus. You take back your power. And like I said in the beginning, see, it's easier to stay where you are. So imagine like it's a really good analogy I'm just thinking of is like, maybe it's like a weight press, right? So when you first start a weight press, if you have all of it, like say you have 200 pounds on there, which if you're a bodybuilder, that's probably nothing. But for me, 200 pounds, I'm not pushing that up. I'm going to have to build up my muscles to be able to push it up, right? And that's exactly how it is energetically. You've got to build your energetic muscles to pull the energy of the dream, like to pull the energy, the momentum to get you there. And so, right, because we're not creating things, we're creating opportunities. So when people say, I create my reality, I'm a master manifestor, it's because they are creating the ability to see the opportunities and they are moving in inspired action. So that's the difference. And so the emotion is a really big deal. So getting really well versed in how it feels. And there's a lot of ways to do that, y'all. You can go make a mind movie. I love mind movies. I use them all the time. I'm not, I don't, I'm not an affiliate or anything like that, but I do use mind movies and I tell everybody about it. I also do scripting. Like you can just do scripting about, and I'll do a video on that because people are always super interested in scripting. So you can do scripting to evoke the emotion. There are so many different ways to evoke the emotion, but put it this way, the more you evoke the emotion, the quicker your opportunities are going to show up. So let's talk about that because opportunities, there's that saying, what is the saying? It's like, when preparation meets opportunity, that's success, right? So the opportunity you're creating through your energy. Okay, that's where the opportunity is created. The preparation is also energy. It's adding to it and it's telling the universe, hey, I'm ready. So if you're saying, hey, like I want to be a top selling real estate agent, top producing real estate agent, you're not going to be hanging out, sitting on your couch watching Netflix all day saying, well, when they call, I'll go ahead and do it. You're not going to not have your stuff together. It's like, as a coach, I'm not going to, just sit around and wait for somebody to come ask me a question. I'm going to be doing things like this. I'm making videos. I'm talking to people. I'm doing lives. I'm talking to my clients. I'm, whatever. I'm always, doing something in that realm because it keeps the energy moving. So let's say that you want to, start a food blog or a food vlog and you're super into that. And so what are you going to do? Are you just going to hang out or are you going to start making the recipes and doing the videos and doing the copy and figuring out how do you market that? And you know what I'm saying? Get into that stuff. It doesn't mean you have to do it all. It just means that as you start moving forward, the universe is going to meet you. The universe is going to find the next piece. So this is just realistic stuff that you can do to start amping up the energy. So when I decided I want to be a top producing real estate agent, I didn't have exactly the business that I wanted, but I decided that I was going to start doing some things. So I started cold calling. It wasn't exactly it wasn't up my alley, right? So then I decided to, that was circle prospecting. So I did cold calling. I did door knocking. I didn't like door knocking, right? And by now the energy was really mounting. Like I was doing all the work every single day. Y'all, this was not that far into my journey. Like I started this And within under probably about 30 days is when the avalanche happened, because I started I was listening to everything that I could listen to about real estate. I was listening to ideas. I was figuring out how to get leads into my CRM. I was just doing all the different things that I knew to do. And one day I was listening to a podcast and they mentioned going live in a group. And I was like, oh my gosh, it sounds so scary. I had never done video before on Facebook. It sounded ridiculous to think that I would do that. And then I thought, you know what? I'm going to do it, but I'm not going to go live. I decided to just make a video. And so I made this video. I decided what I was going to make the video on, right? I make the video and I didn't look to find out what type of video do I make or any of that. I do think in some, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this, but it's like universal like knowledge and download. So I think like when we get in sync with where we're going and it's like inevitable at some point it begins to like sort of pull us, then I think you have access to things that you wouldn't normally have access to because you're moving in that direction so fiercely that it's like it starts to pull you. So that's what was happening, because when I made that video, I didn't know any of this, any of the proper, oh, well, it should be this many minutes, and oh, well, you should do this. Like I didn't know any of that. But when I showed it to one of my friends, because it started gaining some traction, she was like, oh my gosh, you had this many number statistics in it, and you had this, you had that. I'm like, I didn't even try to do that. But anyway, so what's crazy is I did the video, I didn't edit it, 3 takes. And the third take, I didn't watch it. I put it in the group. And within 2 weeks, I had 40,000 views and I had a book of business. Like I was meeting people daily at my lenders to figure out, can I help buy a house? Can I help buy a house? Can you sell a house? I ended up getting sellers, buyers, first-time buyers. I got so much business off of that. Within the third week, I wrote 3 contracts. That year, I cleared well over 6 figures just from that one action. And people go, well, Rebecca, what was the video about? And I'm here to tell you the video wasn't what did it. It is the energy that led to it. So it's like, my energy is going to dictate a certain thing that it knows will get me there the quickest. Let your energy dictate yours. Stop looking for the how, and that's the next step. You have to release the how. You have to release the fact that you need it to come this way, or look for it so hard that when it doesn't. So for instance, when things weren't working out and cold calling was not going as good as I would have liked, like I just wasn't feeling it, I was okay with failing and failing fast, like going, you know what, cold calling isn't for me, move on. And a lot of times we get so bought into how it's supposed to look that we can't move back. But when you're more held on, when you're more focused on the vision than the road there, it's going to be so, so, so much easier for you. Because then like the universe can bring it to you in like a whole bunch of different ways. You don't have to, you don't even have to know how to get there. In fact, that year was the first year that I cleared $50,000 in 1 month. And I didn't even ask for that. Like I wasn't writing down that I want $50,000. And when I say 50,000, I mean 50,000 in my pocket. That was my company split was out, but whatever. So, but the thing that I want you to hear is that when you're holding on to the how, you're kind of telling the universe you know better than it does. And it's not true. The universe knows, like imagine yourself on the first floor. The universe is on that top floor, that penthouse. The universe can see so much easier how to get you the things that you want. You have to allow those things in so that you can actually have the things that you want, instead of being so concerned on making it look a certain way. And a lot of us have a problem with that. I get it. We want it to show up a certain way, or we're like, I'm not going to do that. That goes back to step number 2 or 2A, which is you have to have that no matter what mentality, no matter what. I know there's a route. I'm going to allow the universe to show it to me, and I'm going to move forward. So y'all, the biggest thing here is that don't trick yourselves into believing that you have to hustle your ass off every single moment in order to create the life that you want. Start figuring out, what is your vision? What do you even want your life to look like? That's number one, right? And then figure out how, like for the purpose of this video, what's something that you love to do, that you want to move forward in? I couldn't have predicted that. I could have predicted it was going to come. I couldn't have predicted how. Like, I knew that I was going to be successful. There was nothing that was going to stop me, and I knew it. But that doesn't mean that I knew exactly how it was going to come. I didn't know how. I kind of knew the avenue, but I was open to a whole bunch of different things, and that is super important. So I want to share with you guys one quick tip, and this is like a supercharger for anything you're trying to manifest, just for up leveling your energy. This is just one little secret that's a supercharger, that if you do this throughout the day, you are going to start creating at a much higher level, much more quickly. So this is the secret. Activate your heart center. And I have done that forever. So your heart center is right here. It's your heart chakra, and it's an energy center. And it is, you know, your heart is the only organ that actually talks to your brain. Every other organ gets orders from your brain. Your heart talks to your brain. Your heart tells your brain stuff. So when you activate that heart center, and that, like, where you can feel it like bubbling up, like you can feel the warmth, ooh, you are supercharging your ability to manifest that much quicker. Like, you will not believe. You start to activate your heart center a couple times a day, and you're going to run into nicer people, and you're going to run into people who want to help you, and you're going to like randomly get money, and you're going to, like, that is my number one secret to creating anything. And so when you want to get specific, you want to create, I want a 6-figure income. I want it to come from, you know, I know this is how I'm creating. That little trick is just a trick to help you jumpstart your creation. So if you like this video, I would super appreciate it if you would like it. And if you didn't like it, then dislike it. And if you would subscribe, and if you thought it was super duper amazing, you can share it. Let your friends know about it. I would love to hear what you think about it, what your challenges are. Like, is there something that you aren't connecting the dots in with this? Tell me in the comments. Tell me what your 6-figure dream is. I want to help you, and I want to talk to you about, like, I want to hear about what you think about all of this content. So until next time, y'all, have an amazing one.